it's hard to talk about one theme without a relationship with the other ones. So let's start with Man of Steel and with Superman. Superman, if you will, is the most two-dimensional character of them all. You know, he's always good. He's always loyal. He always wants to do good. He's loyal to his girlfriend, Lois. Um, he has this unconditional love for humans, even though he scratches behind his ears, like, what the hell are these motherfuckers up to? But he, if you will, he's the most two-dimensional. In other words, he doesn't change a lot in between Man of Steel and then going to Batman versus Superman, and then this particular movie, Justice League. Even though he's a little out of place when he gets woken up, he doesn't quite know where he is. But then when he knows where he is, he's back to his normal self. So it warranted for a continuation of the theme that Hans wrote in Man of Steel and that we worked on together in Batman vs. Superman. It made total sense that it bled over into this movie, Justice League, with a little twist. Wonder Woman, the two feature films that came out by Patty Jenkins were never supposed to come out before Zack's Justice League, right? Zack's Justice League was supposed to come out first, and then the first Wonder Woman, and whatever comes after. And in Batman vs. Superman, Hans and I introduced the Wonder Woman theme as a short snippet towards 3/4 of the movie, and Zack wanted to take that theme but make it more sword and sandal, and we were both on the same page that we never understood why her music needs to be more feminine or more softer. She's the craziest of them all, if you will, because she's actually the one driving swords in people's bodies. And the other ones have all kinds of trickery, doing whatever they need to do, but she actually does it with a sword. And so, if anything, she deserves the more badass music. The twist that I gave on her theme, that it's definitely more aggressive in the action moments, but I infused it with a lot of world music elements because the tribe that she's from, I wanted to create a feeling that they were always here and they will always will be. And for me, that world music character, it feels like it's so old and ancient and it will never disappear, like proper music from Arabia, from India, from Persia, that really feels like it's always been here and it will always be here. Such rich culture. The same with them. So that's why I used world music instruments around her theme, and the female vocal that I used, which is this awesome vocalist from Tehran, is like her inner emotion and the sensitive Diane, because she's a very sensitive, loving character, but lethal at the same time. That's where the aggression kicks in when there's action moments. Batman, at the end of Batman versus Superman, the chapter of Batman, the man in agony, the man with that is like melancholic about his past, the man about losing his parents, killed by the Joker, that chapter is closed. At the beginning of Batman for Justice League, it's a new Batman, it's a new Bruce Wayne. He knows what to do now. He's gonna put together the team and they're gonna man up. And so it's a new day for him. So also new day for music. So that's why there's a new Batman music approach that feels like it's a continuation of Batman versus Superman, but it's not the same thematics. So that's why I wrote something different for him. Then there's Aquaman. Aquaman has a little bit of a short entrance because musically speaking, because two major moments around Aquaman are being taken care of by one, the traditional Icelandic song being sung by the female choir, and second, the licensed song of Nick Cave when he goes back into the sea. So, but he has like a very heroic melody, big played on brass that comes back a few times throughout the movie, but in those settings he's always part of the group, so it's less of like a full feature but more like a shorter moment. And then we have two characters left, and that is Cyborg and Flash. Now, the introduction of Flash is also being taken care of by a licensed song, so I didn't have much for me to play there. But his two major moments, first is when Superman is revived, and the second one later on in the movie where he's turning back the clock. And those two moments needed to be very emotional in nature. And that's where I wrote something for him that is infused with the Justice League theme. But that needed to be very, very important. And funny enough, the Flash theme and the Cyborg theme became somewhat a DC fan favorite. Especially the Flash theme was really like, in the response that I've seen at least online on my social media, it's like overall majority of the DC fans really love that theme maybe the most out of the themes for the movie. And then finally the Cyborg scene that needed to be again very emotional in nature, and it's almost like this cycle of notes that he can't free himself of, which is the shackles to free him of this troubled relationship with his father, and eventually he's able to do so. But throughout the movie, this is like a reoccurring thing, and that's why it's this cycle of notes that he can't seem to break. And lastly, there's Steppenwolf / Darkseid / Mother Boxes. Again, this needed to invoke a feeling of these have always been here and they will always be. And instead of using world music elements for this, because that is for Diane, a Wonder Woman, I used here a very typical style of writing of orchestral music that took place around the turn of the century, from 1800s into the 1900s. And it follows really very much some German and Russian composers from that era that used like certain ways of arranging and writing their music. It also invokes that feeling of old, but we also know that that time period will never disappear. Like in 200 years, people will still talk about Stravinsky, the Rite of Spring. And so that kind of concludes like all the themes for this movie and the inspiration of writing something new or sticking to something that somewhat was developed before.